Welcome to another edition of Biro Sports Talk. I'm your host, Biro. As always, for the first time ever, we're trying to do multi-streaming. I do see that we're live. Trying to make sure everything lines up, of course. I didn't really put what we're talking about. It's more we're live. Trying to go across multiple streams. So the streams we're going through are Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook right now. So all three. We are on all platforms, man. Now, to those new to Biro Sports Talk, we do have a show tag. It's been more going off of the Facebook likes than anything else. It's the hashtag 313 and counting. We are at 313 likes on Facebook. If we could get more, that'd be great. But I know Twitch, I had a friend who pushed me towards that this week. As you notice, there was no music at the beginning, and that's all because of Twitch. Now, the reasoning behind that is because there's a lot of royalties in Twitch when it comes to music. If you have original songs that you think are Biro Sports Talk related, give us a shout. Otherwise, I may be looking at some royalty-free music, which would be a bummer to me. So there's a lot of things to talk about, surprisingly, that's going on in the sports world. So let's start with good old NFL football. So the original part of this show, when it came to the NFL, my background started with a show called Straight Football Talk. Now, things went down, not the way I would prefer. There's misunderstandings, overreactions. It's not necessarily any one person's fault. It's definitely all parties involved. But what felt like the final straw was me trying to just do a basketball show. Now, when I tried to move over to just doing the basketball show, that is when I saw exactly what we see. That's where we got the disappointing results that we're in. Now that we are a generic sports show, we've been doing this for about 3 years, I think now, marching towards 4. Just now moving to Twitch, hoping that it's a way to increase the audience. The part that I'm worried about is time. Now, everything I've ever heard with Twitch is long times. Now, this show's used to being a half hour. If I don't see anyone on this, that's probably what we're going to do, is half-hour shows. I know those on Twitch have heard a lot about me through my friend Diego, or should I say Strictly Bearded. I played 2K with him the other day on his stream. If I do streams, I'm looking at potentially retro streams, so retro sports games, and some current sports games. But again, all works in progress. The main focus right now is, of course, the show. Now, as I do before every show, which I kind of did, but I'm usually more, and this happened last week too, I'm more involved with the sharing than I at the beginning of the show. Try to get that out there, try to get more people. See, man, it's just not wanting to do it properly. And it's disappointing when that happens. It's just like I want to share it to a group, can't share it to a group. Want to do it through this to a group, can't do it. It's Facebook changed things. It's hard. It's not doing what I'm used to it doing, but that's okay. Let's start with some topics I did share this week, I guess. I know I said NFL just a few minutes ago, but over on the Facebook page, I do share occasionally throughout the week, trying to get everyone their things. So first off, let's talk about the NFL with the Redskins. So the Washington football team, as they're called currently because they have retired the name Redskins, are having a hard, difficult time trying to find a name. Now, also by the Redskins, ex-Snyder staffers accused of misconduct today. That was big news because we're starting to go down the line of Donald Sterling and some others when we talk about that. We got a report that says 15 women allege sexual misconduct by former Washington employees. It's a interesting, realistic view. Now, I'm going to check one more thing just because this is new. It says you're live. Perfect. I love that it shows that I'm live. The title's not right. We are. Yeah, I gotta edit the stream already, man. Man, that's interesting. There we go. Got a category. And done. Perfect. It says I'm it's all wrong, but we'll see how it works out and we'll see how it all goes down. Yep, everything's updated. There we go. Yes, there we go. I can see it. It's a whole new world trying to do 3 platforms. I will admit YouTube's probably the least important one of all. But as I was saying with the Redskins, this is starting to sound more Donald Sterling-esque. Dan Snyder's been under a lot of scrutiny before, especially with the Redskins name. They're having issues currently finding a name as someone's already trademarked 40 plus names that they were looking into. So there's a lot going on overall for the Redskins and what they're going to become. Man, that's interesting. So an interesting thing that popped up on the ESPN wire, just because, sports kind of dead right now. Alex Rodriguez is calling for players to accept a salary cap system in baseball. Now, baseball is one sport where the rich are richest and the poor are poorest. So if you're the, let's say, small market team, I know this is a common thing with the Indians of late, but a team I view almost exclusively this way would be the Marlins. Now, the Marlins, they were good, and then they got rid of everyone who was good, and then they would get good again, and then they would get rid of everyone who was good. They would make the World Series, then lose everybody. Then they'd make the World Series again, then they'd lose everybody. It's an intriguing thought because when you look at contracts in general for sports, baseball has rich, rich contracts. Now, Mahomes broke that barrier. Ooh, sorry. He broke that barrier. And now we're looking at people probably going to try to surpass his contract. Now, the contract he signs is ridiculous. I mean, these 10-year contracts in baseball, it always hurts the team. In football, these long contracts have yet. Sorry. These football contracts have not fully been applied by any team. I mean, Mahomes is young. That's the biggest thing going for him. Now, back to the salary cap. Now, something that's very common in baseball. Last year, the union lost a grievance that Chris Bryant was supposed to be a free agent, but the Cubs manipulated the service time so that they could delay his eligibility as a free agent. I mean, if you're a baseball fan, besides being frustrated with them losing so many games this year, the biggest thing that's been disappointing, to say the least, is the big names don't sign as early as they used to. They don't sign contracts. They don't get players fast enough anymore. It's a very disappointing, very weird in general feeling, I guess. Because you look at, say, Bryce Harper a few years ago. You look at Machado. Manny Machado. Both waited almost to the last second to sign, it seems like. Which is crazy to think about, but it's true. Now we look at this proposal from a bidder. Alex Rodriguez is a bidder for the Mets, but people don't like his idea of a salary cap. I feel like it will be something that we'll see in the future in baseball. It's just gonna happen to make balance play. Other leagues do it. It's only fair baseball begins to do it. Not like of late, this has been a thing. Now, also looking into the world of sports of today, I know yesterday was franchise tag signings. Tennessee Titans ended up getting Derrick Henry. I believe it was a kind of a 5-year deal, but I'm not quite sure. I know it was at least $50 million, 25.5 guaranteed money. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Try not to yawn. But everyone wants to play. Everyone wants answers, though, for football. J.J. Watt's on the record for saying we want to play. We just need some answers about our safety, about how is it going to be, how is it going to work. I know I posted something about the OHSAA earlier on a form that was retracted later on. And passionately, people were all for staying the course. If I had to, if I had to, I would say this. I agree. We should stay the course for right now. As the head coach of the Parkway Panthers told me in that same post, Joel, I am preparing still for week 1 against Crestview, which he should be. Until told otherwise, that's exactly the focus he needs to have. But some more big news from today, which was interesting. Zion has left the bubble. It was for family matter. He's expected to quarantine once he's back, but he should be back for the start of the NBA season. It is very interesting that he has an urgent family matter. I love Zion. I like how he plays. It'll be interesting to see how the lawsuit against him also plays out. Now, that one personally is a little. I don't like how that's played out. I think it's a smear campaign. They want to ruin his image. But, I mean, that's what that type of thing is. Looking at some more news today, Mark Emmert, the NCAA, I don't think is he considered, no, president, sorry. I was about to say commissioner, but he is the president of the NCAA. They are expecting things to be on track as long as we can fix the quote unquote curve. And they show everything like the US is showing a spike. A lot of people are saying the spike is because we have more testing. A lot are saying the spike is because we're being human, not considering anything. The NCAA is saying we're going to attempt to go back. However, we are solely going to come back if things turn around in time. And it all comes down to being able to turn it around. And trying to... Now, I know today was going to be weird no matter how I did the stream. No matter if it lasted 30 minutes, if it lasted an hour, if it lasted any time in between. It is what it's going to be today. I noticed things were slightly different. Need to change a few things so we can get it all going. But so far, I like that the show's still here. I like we're still presenting to each outlet. Now, I know I don't pay attention to the YouTube side of things as much for this channel. But this will be a nice back to the basics for that. I know originally what I'm using now I used for streaming 2K a while back for the channel. But there are plans in place for this channel, and I'm hoping to grow it to be more than a talk show. The talk show is strictly going to be Thursdays. Like I said, it'll be a 30-minute or above, depending on interactivity. I mean, you're asking an introvert to talk but I'm probably the most extroverted introvert you'll ever meet. For being a host, yes, I do play sports. Currently on softball on Saturdays. Hoping to get basketball up and running once basketball's cleared to be up and running. Oh my goodness, yes. So, other news going on currently. Real Madrid won first La Liga title in 3 years today by a score of 2-1 over Villarreal. Sure, that name. Going to butcher it because I am just going to butcher it. Now, what does this mean? Well, what this means is a great team that's usually put together of the best in Europe for Real Madrid won a title again. Now, with this, they get an insurmountable 7-point lead over Barcelona. Excuse me. Which is led by none other than Lionel Messi. It is now insurmountable. Now, Messi, he's been slapped with a tag of not being able to get it done. It's kind of interesting to think of it that way. He had some harsh words about his team, though. He said Barcelona was inconsistent, were weak. He said people are saying that he's had enough of rubbish Barcelona. And they say he needs to be on a winning team. Now, this can go one of two ways when you talk about he needs to be on a winning team. He could make a team winning. That's what a lot of people prefer someone to do. Some people would say joining another team would be outrageous. But I mean, we just watched Cristiano Ronaldo leave a team to be on another team. We watch in the NBA stars leave every day to go to a team. I'm trying right now to look to see who's on Real Madrid because I feel like there's a name I should know that's on Real Madrid. It's just I'm drawing a blank right now on who this guy is, who I should know. I know it's not a goalkeeper. I know that much. Yeah, I'm not seeing the name I was looking for. But some of the names are slightly familiar. Not a name I was actually looking for, so. I mean, this is the world we live in right now. There's not much going on. I know the basketball tournament, we talked about that briefly last week, was won by the Golden Eagles, who were runners up last year. It's the Marquette alumni. And honestly, that was the. You had your people, you had everything figured out, and you had a whole tournament. This coming up 2 weeks, I believe. If I pull up a calendar, requires me to pull up a calendar. Do calendar. So looking at the calendar, next week is one more week with a bye week, and then the following weeks when sports open up again. Baseball opens up, basketball opens up, hockey starts opening up. Major League Soccer's been playing. Today, an upset with FC Cincinnati over Atlanta. Another sport that's been playing right now is golf. The Memorial's going on this weekend. NASCAR's been running their races. It's just, man, a little surprised by the lack of interactivity today. But that's okay. Like I said, this is the first day of all three. It'll honestly be interesting to see how this all plays out. I try to keep track of the chat as always, but it's not showing me right now any of the chat. So if you are chatting, thank you. If you are not, that's fine too, because, that's where we're at. So, we are approaching the 30-minute mark. Like I said, it's kind of where I'm leaning towards right now. I don't know if it's because I can't see the chat, which is very plausible. Don't know if it's because there's just no one in the chat to chat. Because, there's 3 different chats. But I do love this capability going across platforms. I love being able to post on Facebook and Twitch. YouTube is getting old. Honestly, I still like to have something there. But as I stated at the start of the show, if you were a little off put by no music due to Twitch recommendations, I either need to find some royalty-free music or need to get someone to allow me to use their music. So if you are someone who creates music, has rights to your music, and would love to allow me to use your songs because you think, that sports talk show, this gamer playing this game needs music and my music relates, let me know. Otherwise, it's going to be some royalty-free music within the next week. But if you haven't, definitely go to facebook.com/BST podcast. Like the page. We are, if I can get the tag to show one more time, please, because my producer myself needs to put it up there. 313 and counting. We are a little over 300. I would love to keep marching on. Would love to have Twitch followers. Would love all of it to work out in the end. Twitch, be on the lookout. I would love to start streaming more. We'll have to get a schedule made, but for now, because we just hit that 30-minute mark, and like I said, that's where I was going to end it today. Look for more Biro Sports Talk Thursdays, 7 p.m. Sometimes it may be early, sometimes it might be a little late, but be on the lookout. I greatly appreciate everyone, and I will see you next week on Biro Sports Talk.